Hey everybody, this is Dawn. This is going to be a bit of a crossover video that's a bit of a soul share, very personal to me and my experience, which I have historically shared on this channel, just as because I do believe that our lives are the teaching, and when we share that with one another, we all benefit. And obviously sometimes it doesn't really make sense to everybody, but I do believe in the value of that, so that's part of why I'm making this video. The second piece of it is this galactic thread that I've been talking about, and I will start there with so if anybody's only interested in that, I'll just later transition to the more personal. So the theme, I think, that I want to address in today's video that has to do with this galactic energy that is now much more widely accessible to any soul who is choosing to anchor in their own light and to receive the light that's flooding in, and to take a higher view of life, which includes life beyond that which we know, which does include the existence of other starseed lineages and other beings, not just from beyond, like in space, like space people or aliens, as they are called, but also other beings in the realm that we are here living in the earthly realm, in what is now becoming a realm of radiance, even though it clearly does not look like that yet, but it is there. And that's part of the journey, right? To believe, to have that faith, to be able to receive more, and to be, for the revelation to occur. So there is a heightened awareness that is now possible, and that is being seeded as we speak through this summer journey, through definitely accelerating in July, coming up very shortly. I believe, is it today or tomorrow, is the full moon in Capricorn, which is my sign, and I have lots of planets in there too, so I'm sure it will be impactful. Like I need more impact right now. Okay, I'm gonna save that part. But the galactic energies continue to refine and become more like, it's interesting. It's like they're being refined, but they're also being separated out, almost like, so that we can be able to discern, again, not necessarily a specific thing, like a specific, oh, we're going to suddenly see 5 different kinds of, and also, because this is happening, I just want to put this as a placeholder here, because it's very confusing out there. If you, kind of, and I don't watch a lot of these videos, but I see the titles come across, and there are lots of people talking about disclosure in terms of, scientific government disclosure. Also disclosure as in, like, the other galactic beings coming down to Earth, whether some people see that as to save us, which I do not believe, and some people see that as to interfere with our progress, or some revelation that will blow, like, our whole understanding of history. So there's lots of different angles, right, that people are talking about this disclosure topic in general. And they all have some validity, of course, for the people's perspective of, where they're sharing from. And also, I would say many of them, there are, threads of truth in a lot of that, maybe not all of it, but a lot of it. And at the same time, it can be super confusing, right? Because, like, there's just all kinds of narratives out there. And that's part of what is so beautiful about let me back up. That part of what is available to us now is our own ability to discern is being refined, and the potency of the individual strands of truth is being refined as well, so that if we are drawn to a particular aspect of the overall story of life, life beyond, life within, how the energies work together, how we can use the light that's flooding into the planet to elevate our own lives, and to hopefully come together in a new society and into walk together into a new era rich in love. All of that is more accessible and will continue to be so through the remainder of this year into next year. And I think by the time we get to about 2028, 2029, there will be I don't know what it will look like, but I do believe that it will be to such a degree, the accessibility of that will be to such a degree that at least in those of us who choose to walk together forward and not cling to the dying things, that it will be evident and obvious what that we're on a new journey together with regard to that. So the in the previous videos, I've talked a little bit about the Egyptian energy. I've talked a little bit about our spiritual gifts and those coming online. I've talked a little bit about the this interesting, I don't even know what to call it. It's not exactly a council, but these five different otherworldly beings who have been appearing to me in various aspects. I will probably circle back to that. There's some stuff I haven't shared yet, so I'm going to save that for a different video. But I think that a lot of these things work together. The other thing I haven't spoken to, let me just briefly share this, is sacred sites around the world, and in particular how ley lines and under the earth or inner earth energetic portals and power centers, I want to call them. That's just my word. They're like concentrated areas where there is a potent energy, how those at various sacred sites, some of which are the familiar ones that we're aware of, and then others that are actually yet to be identified or discovered, some of which I've been shown are like almost hidden in plain sight, but like in areas that maybe the local people know have some kind of energy or sacredness, but it's not like Machu Picchu or Stonehenge or Avebury, is that the right name? Anyway, or you get it. It's not one of the common ones, and they are also coming online. The energy in those places is becoming more and more evident, and there will be what will appear to us to be otherworldly or miraculous or outside of the natural course of things as we have known it, that will occur in the next maybe 3 to 5 years. I don't exactly know how quickly this will start, but this whole like the way, so I've been to a lot of sites that were on ley lines, some of which are obvious ones, but also I've been drawn to places that I didn't even know until after I went there. And I was mostly doing the work with the earth and the grid work back about roughly 10 years ago for a few years. And I have continued to on occasion, but the bulk of it was back about 10 years ago. And I didn't even know, like when wasn't really into, I believed in ley lines, and I definitely felt the presence of certain energies when I was at locations. And dragon energy is one thing I want to speak to here, because the dragon energy, and I would even say like almost like mythical beings, like, I don't know, like Pegasus and unicorns that can fly and stuff like that. Like, but the dragon energy for me, especially the dragon energy, I have felt and seen at various locations, particularly, like I said, 10 years ago. And it was very honoring and very like powerful. Ooh, it's like so much power would run through my body, and I would sometimes actually see or feel or sense the dragon energy. And honestly, I was a little bit afraid of it. Although it also reminded me of something ancient that I knew well, both from, the stories that have always lived in my heart with, the Magda tradition and that lineage, but also from like something like beyond, like beyond, way, way, way back. And So I felt it, and I like loved it in many ways, but I just largely like kind of tucked it away. And this connects to the galactic piece because this dragon, mythical creatures and guardian energy, very much earth guardian energy. I have seen recently, and I have to, like see if I can sort this a little more and explain it later, but I have seen that that is another thing that this galactic energy is bringing into alignment. It's not necessarily that that is galactic in nature. It's more that the galactic light and support is helping to energetically ground these realities, and overcome forces that have hidden them from many of us, or through time, in such a way that the revelation of those things will be made manifest. I hope that made sense. This is also true of some of the Egyptian things I've mentioned, the Sphinx, and some of the other things to do with like sacred architecture and sound healing, and even like, I don't know what to call it, but like ancient healing technologies also that are coming online. I know this is going in a lot of different directions, but the thing I want to leave you with in terms of the galactic energy is that, in addition to like our own gifts, and in addition to the overall things I've discussed about like that key and some of the other symbology that is there for us in terms of our individual and collective journeys, there's also an opening to a broader range of experience of what life is, both in terms of life in all of its forms here on Earth, including this like more mystical kind of realm, and life that or experience or of being that is beyond our current scope of understanding. So it's very, very exciting in many ways, and beautiful. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to transition to the personal. But in terms of this galactic piece, I will continue to share more. I feel sure that in July or August, I'll likely share another video with you about that. So yeah, it's super interesting to me and very beautiful. Oh, one other thing, in case I didn't mention it when I was referring to all the information out there in the videos, I think I forgot to close the loop there, which is that I do think it's worth noting that because the positive influx of light anchoring energy is coming in from the galactic support that has always been there for humanity, and now for us individually, maybe always individually as well, but now, and also I don't mean this just for starseeds. I mean this for all of humanity. I literally mean it for any heart that would receive. So that to me is a new level of beautiful energy that is there for us. But because that is the case, it is worth noting that there are likely to be attempts to co-opt that or intercede or intercept it by forces that would prefer to remain and maintain their tight grip of control. And so we're going to have to be very discerning about things that pop up and appear, both in terms of, so-called disclosure by, governments and other groups that maybe have a particular bias or interest, and particularly when that comes to economic and psychological control are the two that I see most frequently. But there are many people who can talk about all the ways that happens. We just need to be discerning, and the way to do that is to go back to that master key and that connecting to your heart space and opening up that trust in life that's not external, but it's here. It's here. You hold it. What many people call the higher self. I like to refer to it as the whole self and your soul self. And you anchor the light here, and then you ask that you be shown. And my experience in the last for sure 10 to 15 years has been that when you have a daily practice to ground and anchor in the light that you are, and know that you bring a particular play of light and lean into that the best you can, my experience is that life always rises up to meet you. So stay attuned to that, and I'll share more later. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back.